Hi, I'm Blythe Stevens, MFA and Bliss Catalyst and founder of Abe Life Coach, dance education and coaching to move through life with balance, grace, and power. We're back with another yoga sequence today, or an introduction to dancer pose. Iconic, challenging in terms of strength, coordination, balance, and flexibility, and so beautiful and exhilarating. We're going to try several different versions of dancer pose today, including some which are lower to the ground and the full standing version. You may wish to bring with you a prop. I brought my yoga strap with me today. That will be very handy for dancer pose. You could also use a bath or hand towel or a Pilates circle or something else. We'll be using this to get a better or easier grip on our foot than maybe we would directly with our hand, although that's always an option, and to play a little bit more with getting into and out of our dancer pose. I recommend taking on a fuller warm up before you start this practice if you haven't really been moving around yet today. If you have been up and about, even walking, running, doing some other sort of athletics, this will be perfect to jump into. But if not, consider doing a couple of sun salutations or some dynamic work on the floor in order to more thoroughly warm and limber up, because we are going to jump right in today into some more stretchy movements. So starting here in seated on both sit bones, I welcome you to close your eyes if that's comfortable, or you can take a soft focus a little bit in front of you, relaxing the muscles of the face, taking some gentle movements of the shoulders and head to settle in, and then we'll bring our attention to the breath as it flows in and out easily through the nose. I will say the ragweed is very intense here in Cologne at the moment, so I'm pretty sniffly and allergic. But we'll just flow as best, and we'll just breathe as best we can through the nose, and if we need to, you can also do so through the mouth, no problem. But tuning into the breath, we want to see how long and easy we can extend each inhalation and exhalation, and then maintain that smooth, even quality of the breath throughout our practice if possible. So come to all fours, both hand prints flat on the floor, both knees and the tops of the feet pressing onto the floor, or you can tuck the toes under if you're more comfortable with that. And take a couple cat-cow here, flexing and extending the spine. When we're lifting our belly up into our cat bridge, we'll press through the palms of the feet and the feet, lifting the belly up and allowing the head and tail to sink down toward the floor. And with our inhale, we'll lift the tail and head, allowing the belly to relax. Yes, dancer pose is a bit of a heart opener, shoulder opener, and back bend. We need to warm up the shoulders, the hips, and the back. And so cat-cow is a great way to start with that. And then sense length from the crown of the head through the sit bones. And then we'll extend that line a little bit more, lifting the right leg up behind us parallel to the ground. To keep warming up through our core, we'll do a couple curls into a ball shape and then reach back out to this dancing cat. Exhaling in, inhaling to extend. Exhaling in, inhaling to extend. Exhaling in, This time, inhale to bring that foot forward into our 90-degree and 90-degree lunge. Plug our femur, our thigh bone back into the hips, and take note of where your forward wall is today. We're gonna bring both shoulders and both hips around to face that as much as possible. Send our arms up overhead and then sink a little bit deeper down into this lunge. Exhale, sink back into a runner's lunge with a flexed forward foot. You can dance the hips around a little bit here. Inhaling into the lunge again, and then you can circle the arms or twist here if that feels good. And exhale, sink back. Inhale, coming forward again into our lunge. Hips and lower back feeling a little bit limber and warm. Hands coming down right and left. We'll peel that leg back out, parallel to the ground, toes facing down. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to return. Other side, stretching the left leg back behind us. Floating it up parallel to the ground. Exhale, round. Inhale, create length through the spine and leg. And stability through our hands and lower leg. Exhale, curl. Inhale, reach. Exhale, curl, and step forward. Left foot next to left hand. We'll take the same care on this side to plug the thigh bone back into the pelvis. Find both hips and both shoulders square to our front wall, then sink in. Inhale, opening the heart to the sky. Exhale, forward fold and flex. Do a little hip dance here if that feels good. A little internal massage of our lower back, hips, shoulders. Come on, forward and up. Circling, dancing, twisting, and sink back, exhale. Inhale up and forward again. And come on down. Hands right and left. Left leg threading back out through the back. And lower down. Sinking back into a child's pose for a moment just to release the effort so far. Relax and neutralize the lower back. You can take the knees wide and take an extended child's pose through the middle, or bring the thighs more narrow and the arms alongside the upper body. Either child's pose is a great variation today. Keep our breathing long and smooth. And then roll up to kneel, reaching the arms behind us. We're going to clasp the fingers together, one thumb on top of the other. Take note of which one it is. Reach that, both hands deep down past your tail towards the feet, and then open up, lift the arms a little bit up and away, floating the heart up, stretching through the shoulders. Take the arms around the body, give yourself a hug. Release, take both hands back and take the other thumb on top as you interlace your fingers. Reach them again down, away, and back. Getting a beautiful opening in the chest, a float to the heart. Release and give yourself another hug. The other arm comes on top, and you can actually massage the shoulder blades here or the arm here. Fantastic. Coming back to all fours, we'll take our next variation of that dancing cat, reaching the right leg back, up and away from you. Curling the nose to knee, knee to nose. Exhale. Inhale. Little tricep push-up. Elbows by our ribs, bringing our heart down towards the floor. And come back up. Next, I'm going to swivel my left leg out off of my mat and open up to the side here, floating momentarily, pressing my left palm and my left leg into the floor. Then I'll sink my right foot down and away from me, the outer edge of that foot making contact with the floor or the mat, creating length from that heel through the whole legs, the side body, the spine, the arm, reaching up and overhead to our gate pose. Such a yummy hip stretch, side stretch, wherever you're feeling it stretch. Then float the arm and leg again away from one another. We'll bring the elbow to the knee to the elbow in front of us. Reaching out. This time, we'll open the chest, bend the leg, and reach behind. If you can reach the foot, we will grasp it. And balancing on our left side, the right side will open up into a beautiful C curve, stretching the belly of the quadricep muscle, stretching through the shoulder, opening the chest, floating up to the sky. This is our first dancer, our side low dancer. That comes back out through a long reach and maybe through bridge pose. Then we'll bring that right hand back down onto the floor, square off both hips, and come back to all fours. Yummy. Let's wag that tail like a happy duck in the water. Letting go of any tension that may have crept in during that sequence. And we'll try the flow on the other side, reaching the left leg long. And then floating it up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, bending the elbows by our sides. Tricep push-up. Inhale to lengthen back out. Exhale, swivel. Now the right leg off the mat. Inhale, reaching into our floating bridge shape, our sort of a side plank variation, and then sinking the left foot down to the floor, outside edge of the foot making contact into our bridge pose, pressing the floor away a lot on the right side. And then my left arm will reach up and over, opening up my whole left side body. Oh yeah. Float it up, arm and leg reaching, curling in front of us this time, elbow to knee if possible. Inhaling to reach out long again, and then we'll open the chest, bend the lifted leg and reach back to clasp the top of the foot. Here you could use your towel or your strap already to loop onto that foot and allow a little bit more ease in the upper body. Or we're floating here, stretching, balancing, taking a nice long neck, an angle of the head that works well for you. Then reaching arm and leg apart with the next inhale when you're ready. And we'll set that down. Turn back to all fours and give your tail a wag. Sitting back into child's pose or a variation of child's pose, we can rest onto the elbows and circle the wrists or massage the wrists and the hands. It is a bit of time spent on the hands and wrist action here today, so take good care of them and take whatever variations work for you. We can also Take the elbows out a little bit more in front of us and the hands, palms together behind the head for a little bit more shoulder opening here in our child's pose. So it is a resting shape, but also whatever stretch you need in this moment type of shape. And then we'll come on back up to all fours for our second variation. Pressing away with every fingertip and the palms, as well as the toes or the backs of the feet. We'll reach and float the right leg up and back. Inhale to float. Exhale to curl. Inhale to float. Exhale to lower. Elbows by our sides. Chaturanga. Little tricep push-up. Inhale here to lengthen. This time we're going to keep our shoulders squared to the floor and reach our left arm long. So we have our leg and our arm more or less parallel to the ground. We'll curl left elbow to right knee into our little ball in front of us. Reach them out with the next inhale. And then reach back again. Here could be a place to use a towel, a loop, a strap. Or we'll pull into this twisted low dancer shape. Ooh, stretching that thigh, that hip, that shoulder, and balancing again, just on one hand and one leg. Reaching out to come out, and return to all fours. Shake your tail feathers. Come to a child's pose to rest, or we'll continue stretching the left leg back, floating it up parallel to the ground. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, lengthen long from crown of head to heel. Exhale, tricep push-up. Inhale, come back up. We'll reach the right arm out against that left leg pull. Curling right elbow to left knee in. Reaching out again. Opening up into our twisted low dancer. Enjoy the heat that we're generating in these balancing shapes as we breathe, stretch, and strengthen. Then inhale again, long, and return. Shake your tail feathers. Come back into child's pose. Take a couple deep breaths here. In your favorite child's pose, like a balloon, filling up the lower back and the whole rib cage with oxygen. As that fresh air flows in, and then let it empty completely out and sink. On the exhale, one more deep breath. And we'll continue reaching the arms overhead, tucking the heels under, sending the hips back into downward dog. Dancing your dog, walking right and left, massaging the ankles and feet, especially if this is your first downward dog of the day. Then we'll look between the hands and walk or spring up to the top of our mat into a forward fold. Inhale, lengthening the spine into a halfway lift, just like during our cat, cow, our all fours position in neutral. Exhale to forward fold. And inhale to roll all the way up to standing. Arms will come with us overhead, palms together. They'll come before the heart. We tried a couple of low versions of our dancer type variations with the heart floating up and the leg reaching back. Now it's time to try out our standing version with or without our props. Now, if balance is feeling not so stable for you today or in general, you can always step a little closer to your wall or a stable piece of furniture and use that support as you go through this pose. So, There's no such thing as cheating in my class. There's only finding the right pose for you. So we're going to shift our weight onto the left leg, let the hands rest on the hips or reach them out to the side, and we'll peel the right leg up, just experimenting with our balance at first. So now we are going to try some versions on one leg, and we want that sole of the foot to support us just as stably as we did on our hands and knees in all fours. So weight over the big toe, little toe, and heel. And we can experiment with some different versions of one-legged balance here, just to get the feel for it. Bring the thighs together, reach back to clasp the foot, right foot and right hand. Just a quadricep stretch shape here, checking that both shoulders and both hips are facing this direction, our forward direction, and then letting the heart lift up. So this is our first standing balance variation of dancer. Folded in here like a flamingo with our arm reaching out like a lotus in front of us. Or you can take a different mudra as you prefer. Lovely. And then as slow and controlled as possible, we'll release that. So no worries if it's developing skill. Shifting the weight onto the right foot in the same way. We'll be really playful and sort of research what works for our balance on this side. Connecting through our center, through the sole of the right foot. The right knee can have a soft bend in it. Maybe we extend that leg in front of us. Just to adjust our balance, we can always pull this here. Oh, that's nice. But then we'll bring the thighs together, reach behind to clasp the left foot and the left hand, thighs and knees together, opening up, letting the heart. We can even put the hand on the heart and let it lift up into the hand. Sometimes that helps us get that full extension. Or we can open the arm forward like a lotus flower blooming. In this one-legged quad stretch that is almost our dancer pose, softly and gently releasing. And just like we did those little duck tail shakes on the floor, we can do that sort of shimmy, shimmy, shake here in standing as well. Especially if, like me, some of your muscles tend to be a little overactive in this position, such as the low back. So you tell them it's all good. You're helping so much, but now you can relax. All right, so with the next version, I may wish to take my strap, or like I said, that towel to loop around the foot. With the strap, you can make a opening just the right size to thread your foot through, or use what you got. And I'll go ahead and stick my foot through that loop. I'll take the right foot up and the right hand to the strap. Oh, it's already easier. I can use that arm to lift the leg up, but I'm still focusing on centering my balance over my standing leg. Everything calm, using my architecture and working with gravity to get situated here, as well as the focus of my eyes. So I want to look across or maybe a little bit forward at something that is holding still and constant. So that's going to help me center myself. Then I'll bring the thighs together and the foot will come behind. Here already I can use my strap to stretch the quad without having to reach behind me and open that shoulder. So I will show you both with and without strap variations, but to start with, if you've got a strap or a towel, we'll have that looped around. We've got a quadriceps stretch happening here, an extension opening up in both hips. I'll reach my left hand forward or keep it on my hip, again, like a lotus here. And then as I press my foot into the strap and pull the strap against the foot, I'll start to lift that leg behind me, keeping it turned in or parallel. This is my challenge. It wants to open up into a ballet attitude shape, but I'm going to keep both shoulders and hips facing my front wall to the degree I can. And then, of course, tip forward to whatever extent is needed to accommodate the shape. You can grasp a little bit closer to the foot or a little bit further away from the foot on the strap, depending on what feels good. And breathe and dance.
And then gently and slowly come out. Unhook the foot if it's in the loop. And pat yourself on the back for that first standing version of Dancer. Gorgeous. Let's loop it on the other side. And try the left leg lifted up. That means my weight is shifting onto my right foot. And I can use my strap. A little less leg muscle action, a little bit more in the upper body. I'll bring the thighs together and the foot behind for my quad stretch. Establishing my grounded standing foot, my center, orienting myself into my room, bringing my shoulders to the front, stretching that quad even more, reaching my hand up and forward, and then opening to whatever degree, and breathing. And releasing. Attempt 1 done. So as you can see, I can take my strap closer to the foot or very far away from the foot, depending on how I want to angle the arm. Now, when I take my foot in the hand, there's gonna be opening also through the chest, which can be really glorious. But again, if that's not accessible to you or yet, then continue to use your strap or your prop to help. Releasing into a forward fold in between. This is like our standing answer to child's pose. The feet in parallel, the knees softly bent, letting the belly and the upper body hang. Swinging side to side. You can do a little no and yes shake of the head. Oh, that's yummy. And then we'll roll on back up to our mountain pose. Dancer pose, of course, can be a lifelong opportunity for growth and learning about ourselves. But for today, we're going to try one more version, either repeating any of the ones we've done so far, all fours on one side, twisting, one foot standing with the strap or prop, or if you want to try without, here we go, shifting the weight on the left leg. Right leg floats up. Taking the right foot and right hand first for our thighs parallel, quadricep stretch. Then either keeping that hand there, which is on the outer side of the foot, or shifting it to the inner edge of the foot helps me keep that leg parallel or turned in. Then I can press the foot against the hand against the foot as I lean forward to whatever degree, seeking to keep my shoulders and hips square, but it is more difficult for me in this position to keep that really classic and academic. It's going to open a little, and that's okay. And then expressing whatever is my full dancer pose today. Softly coming out. Enjoying that stretch and that effort, or just noticing what's going on with you, what mental processes, what thoughts go through your mind. Are there empowering or disempowering judgments that are coming up? It's all good, just notice. Shifting the weight on the right foot, establishing our balance, then bringing the left hand and left foot together into our quadricep stretch, radiating light and warmth in all directions, but especially floating that heart up. And change the grip, if you like, to the inside of the foot. Seeking to keep the shoulders forward, but knowing that they might open a bit. Just sort of dancing through, navigating that transition as we open Pressing the foot into hand, hand into foot. Open that leg back and up. Leaning forward long. Breathing. And then once again, staying as long as you like. And then coming out with calmness and equanimity, if that's possible. Or coming out whichever way you do. Inhaling one more time long. Lengthening both sides of the body. And we'll reach into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Long back and exhale into the fold. Turn the feet out a little bit. We're going to go into a yogi squat on the way down. My yogi squat's nothing pretty to look at, my malasana, but I'm going to show it anyway. Crouching back. And I'm going to bring one heel down and do a little twist, and then the other heel down and do a little twist, and then settle into the degree that I can. Maybe your heels are actually down on the floor in this position. That's something I'm still aspiring to myself. Reaching the hands forward. It's like another sort of standing child's pose here. Then I'll reach my right arm a little bit more to the right. Maybe I can press that shoulder or that arm against the right leg as I twist and open up to the left. And return, reaching the arms forward. So a gentle twist here. Reversing our stretch from that back bend. Then we'll reach the left arm, maybe a little to the left. Open the right arm up. And then walking and sinking back onto our seat or rolling over the side, finding your own way down into a reclining position. Maybe we'll roll vertebra for vertebra on the way down until we've made full contact with the back and the floor. We can stretch super long and let the back arch on the floor, whatever organic, intuitive movement comes to us. Then we'll draw the knees to the chest, crossing them with the hands, rolling side to side for a lovely massage here on the ground. Oh, so needed. You can also circle the knees away from each other, towards each other, whatever feels right to you. Be a happy baby to keep that lower back massage going, playing with the leg extension, letting it all go. And then releasing the feet onto the floor, we can either stretch one leg long and bend the other into our twist, or take two bent knees over to the side into a twist, just as a release. Let go. Seeking to keep the shoulder on the floor. As that twist over, we can give that thigh a pet to encourage the relaxation. And with each breath, deepening into our twist. Great. And then come through center. Stretching the other leg long or bending both legs and letting them both slowly drop over to the other side. So down toward the floor. Leg falling down towards the floor. Oh, that's tight. All good, just noticing. Returning to our center. Any last movements that you like are welcome. And then if you've got the moment, then take a Shavasana here. Stretching the legs long in front of you and the arms falling out beside you. Releasing control of our movement and the breath, allowing, and now our flow of our breath just to arise naturally.
Closing our eyes, scanning the body from the tips of toes through every piece of us, through the arms, legs, core, and out through the top of the head. You might want to set a timer and relax here for 5 minutes or more. Or we can roll onto our side and come right back up to seated so that we're ready to move along with our day. Acknowledge yourself for your effort at these different variations of dancer pose. Know that you can come back and revisit the practice and repeat and refine anytime. And namaste. I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me for these dancer pose variations. I hope you enjoyed experimenting with some different perspectives, some different orientations on dancer, that you've discovered an accessible way into dancer so that you can practice and continue to improve. And let me know in the comments below what you in particular enjoyed and what you'd like to see more of in the future, and I'll take that into account in my upcoming videos. See you next time.